today I'm going to be talking to you about this little beauty right here. It is an eyeshadow palette from Tarte, and it has, let's see, 12 different colors in it, and they range from lights to darks. And I have been loving this thing. A couple of weeks ago, I was in a parking lot, kind of sitting there looking on my phone, reading through emails, and all of a sudden an email from ULTA pops up for $10 off pretty much anything in the store. Typically their coupons or discounts are for more the drugstore side of the store. You know, the cosmetic counter department never goes on sale, but when that coupon popped up, I read all the little fine print and everything. I'm like, oh, it's for that side of the store. So I threw my phone down and drove straight to ULTA because I had been eyeing this thing for a while and I wanted to get this. So I purchased this. Let me tell you one of the things that I think is really cool about this palette. I today have this eyeshadow look on, and if you are not really confident in your blending skills, this is a really good palette to get. And one of the reasons I say that is because the colors in it go not only from light to dark in 3 different rows there, but they're also really, you know, kind of the same tone. And so this look that I'm wearing today is really easy to do with any 3 of the rows. You pretty much start at the lighter end and work to the darker end and more placing the eyeshadow where you want it, opposed to kind of putting a dark color in there and blending it all out and trying to get it everywhere. So I am going to today show you how, using one of the lines of the color, how I got this look. So let's get started. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done one eye, and I'm going to walk you through the steps to do the second eye. I've chosen today the purple, or the center line on here, the purple. So the first color I'm going to take is called Caregiver, and I'm actually using, this is a concealer brush. I really like using this brush for my all over color because I can actually pat it on. I did put on a little bit of Urban Decay's eyeshadow primer, and I don't always use primer. A lot of times I just kind of go, but this one, because the lid color that I'm using is so light, I want it to actually, that first color, I want a lot of it to be able to be kind of like patted on there, so I did go ahead and put a primer on. But I'm just going to go ahead and take my brush here and dip it into, the mirror on this thing is really big, so there's lots of reflection. Gonna go ahead and just pat it on there, and then you're going to just use this color, again it was Caregiver, as the all over lid color. And you're going to, I've been trying to do my eyeshadow in more of a patting motion opposed to just kind of like sweeping it on. So I'm going to place this all over the lid from lashes to brow. And this particular color is just a nice, really soft pink color. And I'm going to put it even all the way down there in the corners. And pat that on all over as our base. So, like I said, this is a great technique if you don't feel like you're really good at blending or you don't have time to blend. This is also a lot faster application. So the next color I'm going to use is called Natural Beauty. It is kind of the next dark shader, and I am using a small shadow brush. These 2 brushes have been from IT Cosmetics. So I'm just going to go ahead and pat some of that on lightly, tap a little of the excess off, and I'm going to take that and put that right here on the inner crease. This is a nice light color, but it is, you know, obviously darker than the all over lid color. So we're just going to place that from the inner crease kind of out towards the center. here is where this look gets really easy, is then instead of kind of trying to blend all of these different colors, I'm going to go in with the next shade darker, and this shade is called Best Friend. Kind of like tap my brush on there and tap a little of the excess off. And then I'm going to go ahead and place this color in the outer crease. And I am just kind of dotting it in there. I'm not going to do a lot of blending. So like I said, this is a great technique if you're not good at blending. And so you can see I have, without blending it, I have a lighter color here and a darker color here. I think I might have just got that one a little too dark, but that's okay because I am going to blend this just a touch. I'm just going to kind of like pat it out up onto my brow bone, or this little bone right in here, this little brow bone. And go up there and bring it in just a little bit on the corner of the lid. And that's pretty much it as far as the two colors go. Now I will say, the one thing that kind of bothers me about this palette is it doesn't have all of the colors in it are flat colors. None of the colors have any kind of sparkle, that type of thing. I wish some of them did. I don't like when I buy palettes and like most of it is sparkle, but I do like a palette with a little bit more sparkle. But this one has, you know, I purchased it because it has great sets that go from light to dark. Like I said, the 3 different rows, and they're really easy and quick to just kind of start from one side, go to the other side. The last little step I'm going to do with the actual like shadows and using them as shadows is I use IT Cosmetics. They have a smudger, and I just barely tap that onto the color, and then I take and kind of dot it right on the corner of my lid here, and I then smudge it down here on my lower lash line. I like to bring the darker of my eyeshadow colors a lot of times down to my lower lash line. So as far as actual colors go, that's it. And now we'll move on to the eyeliner part of this look. Again, I'm using the palette, and I am using a liner brush and dipping it in a little bowl of water that I have down here. And you just kind of, I always put it in a corner of the shadow and swirl it around, and it will turn it into liner. And it's kind of nice because it's not super dark, and it's, you know, got that same purple tone that the rest of the shadows have. So I am just going to draw a quick line. This isn't a big elaborate look, so I don't really want a dark liner today. And I'm just working from the corner out, kind of twirling my brush as I go just to kind of get a nice even line. And then I will usually take and dot just a tiny bit of that, again going in with the liner brush, and I'm just going to dot a little bit of that, make a very light line along my lower line, which I kind of just noticed I didn't do that on this side. So just to give it a little more definition, one of the nice things about using a liner let me say that again. One of the nice things about using a shadow as a liner is you can kind of run like a little bit of a fluffy brush after you're done, run it over it, and it will soften it really nice. The shadow, you know, being in there kind of will diffuse out just a little bit, and then you have a nice soft liner look. And then again, that liner being that I used the last color in the palette, it matches the rest of it. So there you go. I think they're matching. I went ahead and finished it off with a couple of coats of mascara and I actually used a dark brown eyeliner and went in and tight lined there my upper lash line. I always do that no matter what kind of eyeshadow look I'm doing for the day. So again, this is the palette by Tarte, and I believe they just call this their Amazonian Clay Matte Palette. So yeah, I hope you found this video interesting and informative. If you did, please hit that subscribe button right down there. I think it's right there in red, or maybe it's right there in red. I hope you subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys all soon. Thanks, and bye everybody.